All right, everybody, let's learn some more about Orisha or Orishas. There's an absolutely fantastic website that I totally recommend because it is accurate, which is the World History Encyclopedia. World History Encyclopedia has a phenomenal article about Orishas. It's simple, it's not very long, and it's easy to understand. If we're going to learn about the Orishas, the first thing we need to do is try to understand what they are. Because whenever you're on TikTok or when you're on YouTube or Google, you will see a pantheon of Yoruba deities, right? Oshun, Yemaya or Yemoja, Shango, Ogun, Eshu. And so to a Westerner, okay, and I'm specifically talking to Americans, to an American you might think, oh, those are African gods, in the same way that there are Greek gods, Zeus, Aphrodite, Apollo. However, the concept of an Orisha is different. It is not the same as, let's say, a European understanding of a god. However, there is that divinity primordial aspect to them. The Orishas are divine archetypes, and they are expressions of the supreme reality that we call Oludumare, Olorun. I just want to hop to another website, which is the Britannica website. It also has a very nice article about the Orishas, although it's a little long and complicated. I just want to read this. An Orisha may be said to be a deity, yet defining an Orisha as a deity does not do justice to the concept, in a large part because the term deity often suggests a sort of anthropomorphic supernatural entity. An Orisha may be said to arise when a divine power to command and make things happen converge with a natural force, a deified ancestor, and an object that witnesses and supports that convergence and alignment. An Orisha, therefore, is a complex, multi-dimensional unity linking people, objects, and powers. You need to go back and listen to me read that again. So in the Yoruba creation myth, we have the people of heaven, the Orunmile, who came from heaven to earth in order to cultivate the earth and to create. Some of those people that came from heaven to earth stayed, and those that stayed here and died became Orishas, and they became primary Orishas, like Obatala, Oshun, Ogun. And the Orishas exist to help humans reach their goal of self-actualization, but these entities are not perfect in themselves, and you'll read about that in their stories, which their stories are a lot like Aesop's fables. They teach morality, ethics, sacrifice, and also teach us about the personalities of these beings, multidimensional quantum individuals. So we need to talk about Oludumare. The Orishas are supernatural entities usually referred to as deities in the Yoruba religion of West Africa, though they are actually emanations or avatars of the supreme being Oludumare. Their number is usually given as 400 plus 1 as a kind of shorthand for without number or innumerable. So my understanding and what I'm postulating, because people are different, you know, when it comes to like Christianity, there are Catholics, there are Orthodox, there are Baptists, there are Protestants, and not everybody agrees that there is a Holy Trinity. Some people are Unitarian, they don't believe in the Trinity. Some people believe that Jesus was just a man who was a great teacher. Some people believe he's the Son of God. But out of all those denominations of Christianity, all of those people, their feelings are valid and their beliefs are valid because they believe them. And it's the same thing with Orisha. Ifa is practiced in Africa or in Cuba or in Brazil or anywhere the Yoruba people were taken during the transatlantic slave trade and brought their beliefs. All of those feelings about the Orishas and the way that people venerate them, care for them, communicate with them are all valid practices. And I feel that Oludumare, Olorun, who is the supreme being, okay, God Almighty, in the Yoruba pantheon, is manifest God's self through the Orishas. Matter of fact, the only thing that actually exists would be Oludumare, Olorun, and everything else would be manifestations of that supreme entity. Oludumare, as a title, okay, can mean the owner of all possible outcomes and the owner of the pot that's never exhausted. And as the owner of all possible outcomes, Oludumare, even though a lot of people say, oh, God Almighty is very, very distant, and there is no cult that venerates or works with that entity directly, exists in all places, at all times, and is very present right here with you and me right now. Oludumare's presence permeates all of existence because Oludumare, Olorun, is divine consciousness. And we are all expressions of that divine consciousness. Most importantly, the Orishas. All right, we'll be back for another video in a little bit.